The more episodes that drop, the more I get aggravated with this season of players because they all are coasting by. It seems like Jourdan is the only one trying to make some moves in the game, but he's such a bug. And he has no power with this weird obsession with Myles that's clouding some of his game moves. So that's a dub. Let's get into this reveal. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are watching this. Hey y'all, hey. So as you already read the title down below, I'm about to get into season 6, episode 9 and 10 of The Circle. But before I do, y'all already know what to do. Like this video and show your girl some love. Comment your thoughts because I know you already have them. Hit that notification bell and of course subscribe and join the queendom, baby. Y'all, I can't lie. This recent batch of episodes surely took me on a roller coaster. But let me start with my thoughts from episode 9 and work my way down. So first thing first, we finally get to the reveal that Caress, aka Paul, decided to sacrifice herself and let Caillou stay in the game. And Lord knows I was jumping for joy. You hear me? I mean screaming and shouting because she wasn't as delusional as I made her out to be. I honestly and truly thought she was going to take Kyle down with her, but she didn't, and I totally respect her for that because if she didn't, she probably would have went down as the most hated player in the Circle franchise, mainly because, you know, she was already unlikable in the game and just didn't do a good job. And if we as viewers knew she was the reason Caillou got pulled down to the bottom, then she had to know that too, even if she is delusional, okay? So her and Kyle was cool in the game and they had, you know, an alliance. Even though there were many times Caress would try to downplay Kyle, but she knew he had her back. So it made sense to keep him in the game. Now, had she been a ride or die partner with somebody else, I probably wouldn't have cared if she stayed to sacrifice herself, them. I just wouldn't have cared because she wasn't as close to anyone else. Maybe Myles, I probably would have cared, but that's about it. But she had Caillou, she didn't take him down with her. So like I said, I respect it, respect it, respect it. So after the sacrifice, Circle told the group that Paul was blocked, but not his partner. And I am happy they didn't tell them who Paul was paired with. So Caillou can use this as a, you know, advantage. Circle also allowed Caress to go see Caillou. And I did not like that because she should have been able to choose who she wanted to see once she got blocked. Granted, there was a 99% chance that she was going to see Kyle anyways, but still, it should have been her choice, not theirs. Or it should have been a situation where she got to see Caillou and someone else. Hell, a double blocking and a sacrifice. She should have been walking around that damn apartment all willy-nilly, playing any, meeny, miny, mo on all the doors she wants to walk into, if you ask me, hell. But nonetheless, I was happy seeing the moment between her and Kyle, even though Caress got on my nerves throughout the entire season. I was happy to see her in this more calm and chill manner. And it seemed like this was the real her and she should have brought this personality into the game and not the one she portrayed in the game. Just doing too much to stand out only to fall short. And she probably would have gotten further along, if you ask me. Now, one thing that stood out to me when Caress was introducing who she was and who Paul was to Kyle was when she said that playing Paul was a better choice for her than playing herself because her brother is popular on social media with a lot of followers, whereas she only had like 200 or 300 followers. When I said I yelled so loud at the screen and said, girl, what? I feel like that didn't make any sense because at the end of the day, this game is based on the personality you put on in the game, not who you are on the outside. And also, too, your brother having a huge following on social media wasn't going to make an impact on the game because no one knows who he is. I mean, y'all may know who he is. I ain't know who he was until I did some digging, because one thing about it, baby, Caress did some heavy marketing for her brother on this show. She told us as much as she could her brother got a huge following and her brother is a rapper. Girl, I had to go Google who the hell Paul was, okay? But this also goes to show that Caress didn't really have a strategic plan like she thought she did, and whatever plan she thought she had was horrible. She should have just said that, you know, she wanted to go in the game playing someone younger to see if she can, you know, get away with it. But the popularity of your brother didn't matter to us or the players, babes. So once the two of them started talking, Caress told Kyle that basically Lauren was fake and playing both of them. But really, Lauren didn't really care for Paul, if we're being completely honest. But what she did tell Kyle had him not wanting to fuck with Lauren anymore. But hell, Kyle and Lauren weren't even that cool anyways and never really connected like that. Then they talked about Olivia and, you know, how she's struggling. But child, boo, Brandon, aka Olivia, is just coasting by. She should have been the first person blocked, but y'all all kept her in the game. So please, I don't want to hear anything about Olivia at this point. She may be the winner of this season if I keep it honest. And Kyle was talking about how, you know, Olivia was his public enemy #1, but as the episode goes on, that becomes a lie because he started flirting with her, getting Brandon all hot, wet, and bothered, child, in the jacuzzi. Completely forgetting about his game and wanting her out, or maybe using her, but nah, he was really all in with Olivia. And he did bring up the conversation with Olivia when they both talked about the passing of their father, so I think that was a conversation that bonded him and Olivia and had him, you know, get off of her neck and flip to Lauren and make it his mission to get her out. Now, moving on, the group finally got to see Paul's message and they saw he was really a she and a catfish. But what was really lit about Paul's message, well, Caress's message, was when she started rapping. I can't lie, my girl was going off, okay? She did her one little thing with that. I ain't mad at her. I feel like we needed more of that energy from Caress playing Paul, coming off friendly and just always throwing random rhymes in the group chat to make people laugh and hype. But instead, you was messy and always starting stuff in the chat, not knowing how to finesse people. Like, Caress was really pissing me off and everyone else off in the game. The more I think about it, hell, she was even pissing y'all off in the comments, in the viewers. And had she given us this Caress energy that she's giving us now and not the fake Paul energy, I probably would have been rooting for her. Like, you know, maybe. Oh, also, Caress, girl, please leave us alone with telling us your brother is famous. We do not know him. I mean, I saw he was on American Idol or whatnot, but girl, we haven't watched American Idol in how long? And don't get me wrong, I am not knocking her brother and what he has done to become who he is today. But what you are not going to do, Caress, is force his fame on us because we don't care about that. We care about you and what you do because we are watching you play, not him. Now, what I will say is Caress did a good job promoting her brother, child, okay? Because she said it so many times. Hell, even I started looking him up and Googling him. So she got that off for sure. And Paul looks good for real in real life. Hell, after I done did all my Googles on the man, I'm mad that she chose the picture that she did of him. Like, just bye, Caress. You just all over the place, girl. Bye. So, of course, after the message, they all jump in the chat with their thoughts. Jourdan being messy, Lauren being fake nice. But what got me was Autumn's message. Like, girl, why are you even acknowledging the negative attention that was put on you the other day? I feel like Autumn isn't thinking about what they doing as a strategic move, and she's just, you know, the scapegoat. She's just in her feelings, girl. What I hate about this season of Players is that they always want to get in the main group chat complaining, but none of them create private chats and start putting in work that way so they can clear their name. Like, what are y'all complaining for if you aren't going to do anything about it, or at least try? Yes, Autumn, Lauren was wrong for saying your name, being that she is your ride-or-die partner, and she was the one that started the domino effect of people saying your name. But she is not the only person in the game, and she shouldn't be the only person you dependent on, and that's the problem. I feel like after the group chat, we should have seen Autumn going to all the players that called her out in a group privately. She should have been sending them a private chat, asking them and talking to them to see where their head was at when they came to her, as well as having them explain why they even felt the need to throw her under the bus. And then from there, she should have gotten personal so that way they could like her more and get to know her more. I'm not saying it would have worked, but it would have been a step to changing the trajectory of her game. Because at this point, she's just a sitting duck in the game. So she could be a person that can help another player move up high in the ratings. So had she done that and played her cards right, then she probably could have gotten out of the rut she's stuck in my opinion. So after seeing Lauren and Autumn in a private chat, we get into a private chat with Myles and Jourdan, and I'm just, Jourdan, I just can't with him, honestly and truly. The thing with Jourdan is that he has this unhealthy one-sided beef with Myles with nothing to back his hatred up. It's like he has created this ideal person of who he thinks Myles is, and he has been letting that rule his thoughts and feelings throughout the game, making Myles his target when there are so many other people in the game that he can come after as well. So in the chat, he had the nerves to say that Myles is the type of person that needs validation, but Myles has never been a person to give off or show that he needs validation from anyone. Myles is too real and too honest to seek validation from people, especially from you, Jourdan. Like, let's be for real. But Jourdan is playing his fake friendly role so well with Myles that Myles doesn't even know about the hate campaign that Jourdan has on him. But baby, that's all about to come crashing down. The thing is, Myles has always come to Jourdan with such positivity and reassurance. So it baffles me that he didn't use that to his advantage on working his way up in the game instead of focusing negative energy to get Myles out of the game. Literally nothing he's done so far makes sense and hasn't benefited his game. But his hate for this man is clouding his moves. One thing I have to say though is I love the type of player that Jourdan is, only for the simple fact that it is letting other people who wants to be on this show know that you can't trust everyone. You really have to go through real conversations with people and weed out, the real from the fake, because the surface level conversations can be easily manipulated. And that Myles and Jourdan conversation is very surface level, which is why Myles is blind and Jourdan is sneaky. Moving on from there, we get into a private conversation with Olivia, aka Brandon, and QT. And honestly, I totally forgot that they had an all-girls alliance at one point, but I think the Cassie blocking through them for a loop, and Brandon low-key wasn't with QT anymore. Hell, if I'm not mistaken, I think she told Cassie that she was going to try and get rid of QT because what she did was wrong. But child boo, Brandon hasn't made not one move against QT yet. And on top of that, this chat that they are having right now fits everything for Brandon. He is just so easy. Him and Lauren, they just both so easily influenced. Brandon felt like he and QT had a miscommunication and was afraid to talk to each other. But I don't think that was the case. I think what really happened is Olivia wanted to stay away from QT because she didn't want to be cool with her anymore after, the Cassie situation. But I think once she got into a position similar to QT, where she basically has to throw someone under the bus with Myles, and that person being Autumn, she finally understood what QT went through being an influencer. Granted, what QT did to Cassie was more detrimental than what Brandon is helping Myles do to Autumn. But now she understands. So now she feels like she can, be on good standing with QT. Now, this is all in my head, and Olivia didn't say any of this, but I think that's the real, if we being honest. Because at the end of the day, you can hate something someone did, but until you are put in a situation similar to theirs, you wouldn't know how it feels. So of course, once you are, your whole point of view changes about the person and their actions. So after all the private chats, they played the game where they dropped their naughty and nice photos. And some of the naughty photos they dropped were whack as hell, especially QT. Girl, what was that tomboy looking photo? It didn't give naughty at all. Maya's picture was on brand for naughty, and so was Autumn's. But baby, Maya's nice picture? He ate. He ate that so bad. Oh my God, he ate. That is the look for him. Now, Lauren also had a good naughty picture with her little white ass propped up on someone's countertop. Child, okay, girl, I ain't mad at you. Go ahead. And then to end off the night with a flirty but funny bang, Olivia, aka Brandon, and Kyle started flirting with each other in a late night private chat. And when I say I was screaming, when I say I was screaming at Brandon, man, he is so funny and just eating up everything Kyle was saying. And Kyle kept trying to reassure to this photo of his wife that he doesn't mean anything that he's saying to Olivia. Man, everything about this chat was hilarious. But things got real when the whole group chat was hit with a late night alert telling them that, they had to do some voting. And it threw all of them off, okay? Because they was getting ready for bed. So after the group rated each other, of course, they didn't find out till the next day. And before I get into the ratings, there was a few private chats happening, like Lauren and QT talking, which was so boring. Like, I could have done without seeing their chat. QT brought up how Lauren gives nothing, which she doesn't, but QT gives nothing as well, which I guess she's just matching Lauren's energy. But again, I could have done without seeing it. The only thing I got out of that chat was they both feel some way about Autumn. QT, I understand why she feels some way because her and Autumn never talk, but Lauren is so phony. She only feels some type of way about Autumn because Autumn called her out about being a horrible ride-or-die partner with no strategic moves. But moving on from their chat, Jourdan and Autumn had a talk as well, and this pissed me off because Jourdan is still trying to push this narrative to anyone who will listen that Myles has been flirting with him. It's so weird, bruh. Like, what the fuck? And it's not even working. Him saying it hasn't made a dent in Myles' game or has made anyone question it. So I don't understand why he keeps trying to use it. He needs to give it up. Like, damn. I just really don't like that. And Autumn is dumb because why the hell are you talking to players that don't even move the needle in the game? So I understand making sure you are in a good standing with Jourdan and chin checking Lauren, but that is not enough, girl. And that's why she's in the position she's in now, because her ass is too busy talking to people who have no power and hold no weight in the game. Moving on in the show, they play a game where they get to ask someone a secret question, but the thing is, Circle chooses who the anonymous person get to ask the question to. And I hate that because the Circle is controlling the game too much. Like, why wasn't it a situation where they get to call someone out on their own? Like, why do the Circle have to control every damn thing? Literally, the first secret question is Myles to Olivia. Like, why would you even choose them two when you know they are ride or dies? So they are going to be nice to each other. This should have been a cutthroat game from beginning to end, and we got these weak ass questions that we was given from them. But anyways, Myles asked Olivia some easy question. I don't even remember because it don't even matter because it was some easy, flushed out question. I don't know. I can't remember. Lauren asked Jourdan who he feels threatened by. A weak ass question. But he said Lauren, which was smart because he can have a conversation with Lauren off of that to clear his name and throw Myles under the bus. It's like Jourdan is smart in his moves, but it always backfires on him. I feel like if he was in a game earlier, he could have controlled the game. He probably really would have controlled it. But that's just not the case at this point. Then Olivia, aka Brandon, had a question for Kyle, and he asked who's his strongest alliance and why. Again, that was a weak question because why would you expect him to answer that? Like, let's be for real. Then Jourdan was able to ask Myles a question anonymously, and it was so perfect for Jourdan. He got all happy for this because he knew he would stir up so much mess. But then he asked Myles, how do you feel knowing you have the entire circle wrapped around your finger like a ring? And everyone felt like it was a shady question, but I don't think so because that was an easy question he can weasel out of. I feel like Jourdan has been starting so much mess and lying on Myles so much in the game that he could have came harder with a question. Like, he could have asked, why are you making it seem like QT is your number one in your circle crush when you are in a chat flirting with another player? Now, see, that is the type of question that would get things going, if you ask me, because Jourdan has already planted seeds, doing that whole lie that I hate. Y'all know I hate that lie, but doing that whole lie saying that Myles has been flirting with him. So that would have really stirred up mess, even though we know Myles would have said, like, that's a lie or whatever, but throwing it out, it would have started some stuff. But whatever, like I said, Myles found a way to answer the question without seeming like an ass, and Jourdan was mad at his response. Like, sir, calm down. You can't get mad. He's doing what he's supposed to do and saying what he's supposed to say. Kyle's question went to Lauren, and he asked her, why has everyone you've been in a alliance with has gone home? I feel like that was a, kind of okay question, but I feel like he could have gone harder too. But the thing is, Lauren really gives nothing in this game, so coming up with a question for her is a little bit hard. So I get it. Maybe he should have found a way to throw in the words fake nice or, something like phony. I don't know, something to her. But Lauren's response was so whack. Like, I don't even think she helped herself. And it was just so bland. Like, girl. Then QT had a question for Autumn, and she basically asked her who she felt least comfortable with in the game. And instead of her dropping a name, she played it safe, saying she's not going to drop a name. But I think she should have said QT name and followed up by saying we haven't had a conversation or had a chance to talk. But, she plans on getting to know her a little bit more or something. Like, girl, it was so many ways you could have went about that, and you went the easy, I don't want to say no names way. So then Autumn asked QT a question, and she said, out of your current alliances, which one would you not mind breaking to win $100,000? And I think that was a really good question, but after seeing the other players pivot and duck their questions, it allowed QT to do the same, so she gave a safe answer as well. So after the game, Caillou starts to chat with Myles and QT, and they basically all agree on gunning for Lauren or Autumn if one of them makes it to the influencer spot. Then Lauren starts to chat with Jourdan because she wanted to ask him why he felt like she was a threat. But this was a chance again for Jourdan to throw Myles under the bus and tell her what Myles said about her being a backstabber, two-faced or something, which I don't fully recall, but whatever Myles said, it wasn't as deep as Jourdan is making it seem, in my opinion. So after that conversation, of course, she believed everything Jourdan said, and she called him a king. And when she said that, it made me think about the conversation that Caillou and Caress had about Lauren calling Paul her king and Caillou her Prince Charming, and how Paul really took it to heart. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's just something she says a lot to guys, because now she's calling Jourdan a king. Or maybe she's just really faking for me. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. So finally, it's time for the ratings. And let me just say, the reason I really hate the players this season is because they all want to be coasting in the game with ease. No one wants to really get cutthroat. And I get some of them may not need to, but I feel like it's what makes the game entertaining for the viewers. If everyone wants to be goody two-shoes, then what's the point of the game? Why are we here? Everyone can't be nice. That's just not realistic. Like, that's why I kind of like Jourdan. Like, Jourdan, I'm like this with him, because it's like I like his gameplay, but then his gameplay ain't good. Like, So when it was time to go through the ratings, down there all the players were praying not to be the top influencer, because they would be the one to vote someone out of the game. And I am so confused. Why would you not want to hold power and be the person to influence the game and change it up for the betterment of you? Like, that made no sense to me. Also, I feel like the ratings was a little wonky because the circle waited until after the players voted to tell them that their ties aren't connected to their ride or die partner anymore. And I think if they had known that beforehand, a lot of ratings would have been different. So in last place was Autumn, of course, no surprise there. Sixth place was Jourdan, that also made sense, but it was so funny because he was hoping it was Myles. And it's so funny because Myles was in his room bigging up Jourdan, basically saying like he couldn't understand how Jourdan was in sixth place because Jourdan was so nice. And all I am thinking is Myles, him being that low means something ain't right with the boy. So read between the lines. A nice person wouldn't be sixth in the ratings. Hello? Then fifth place was Caillou, fourth place was Lauren, third place was Myles, Olivia was second, and QT was the top influencer. Now, QT was pissing me off so bad, so bad. She's so worried about being looked at as a threat in the game that she was hoping to not be an influencer. Like, girl, are you dumb? No one is thinking about QT being a threat in the game, because if they were, she wouldn't be rated so high. Like, baby girl, where's your self-esteem? I need you to pick it up and put it on your back and get in the game. Like, come on, you say you a gamer, act like it. Clearly, people in the game likes QT, so her chances of going to the end of the game has always been high because she has done a good job with making some smart alliances and connections. But the lack of confidence and attitude of wanting to coast in the middle of the game and not influence the game is so lame to me. Oh my God. And she's not the only one, but ugh. Then you got nutty ass Jourdan, who is so happy to be in a hangout. But the whole time, he got there by luck, riding the coattails of a top player in the game. And it's just so funny watching Jourdan get so hyped thinking he has all this power in the game when he doesn't even have a little ounce of it. And he also thinks he's a puppet master, but baby boy is just a puppet at this point. Hell, he probably ain't even that. But we all know QT is the real puppet master. I just wish he had a little more confidence to back it up. At this point in time in the hangout, I am just so tired of Jourdan because he is talking crazy like he is this big dog in the game, and he's not. And he has this weird obsession with Myles, and it's draining. Jourdan, baby, you are an influencer by luck. So relax and go rethink your entire strategy because the coming after Myles gameplay is starting to get weak. Well, it's been weak, but we tired. At this point, Jourdan has now taken the reins of the person in the circle that gets on my nerves the most. Now that Caress is gone, he is so aggravating with this one-sided beef he has with Myles. Oh my God, we can't get enough of it. Moving on, Jourdan and QT are chatting about who they want to get rid of. QT was telling Jourdan that he would be good because her people would look out for him. But Jourdan was like, that's not true because your main person is Myles and Myles is coming after me. Whole time this boy has been living in Lululand and it's getting out of hand. I think that this beef he has cooked up with Myles in his head is eating him up so bad that he truly believes that Myles is after him. Whole time Myles is minding his business, thinking nothing but good things of Jourdan. It's just so freaking crazy and it's not making any sense. Well, it does make sense to Jourdan and only Jourdan. Now, don't get me wrong. I am on Jourdan's side of not falling for what QT said about her people looking out for Jourdan when the time comes. Because if you don't know her people or haven't connected with them, you can't go for that. So I was with him with that. But he lost me when he tried to get QT of all people to block Myles when you know that she would never budge on that move, ever. The whole Myles fixation will be the end of Jourdan's game. I also peeped that during his takedown talk with QT about Myles, he didn't bring up the whole Myles been flirting with me lie. He didn't bring it up to her. He knew that shit wasn't going to fly with QT, so he kept that in the tuck. He say that for Lauren and Autumn and them, and Olivia. Just watching the chat between QT and Jourdan was so funny because QT was not letting up and Jourdan was doing everything in his power to get QT on his side with his decisions, and it wasn't happening. Nothing has worked in Jourdan's favor, so I am confused on why he keeps missing the mark. Just like QT said, 1, we are not in the same boat, and 2, we are not seeing the game the same way, and that's the truth. QT has probably made more big moves than anyone else, and she has been an influencer twice, so if anything, the game is going exactly how she wants it to go. So she is the wrong person to try to sell, a fake gameplay to or a fake gameplay on, because she is the one who is controlling the damn game. Now that I think about it, the thing is, I don't mind Jourdan's gameplay. Hell, I kind of like it because he had intentions on coming in and stirring things up, but I think he came in a little too late, so none of the plans worked. Also, he comes off so hard in certain situations, and he don't know how to pivot when things aren't going his way and maybe double back a little later. Now, one thing about it, I love that QT was standing on business about her alliances. But anyways, that's enough of my rambling. I want to hear from y'all on these 2 episodes. So like this video and show your girl some love. Sound off in the comments with your thoughts and let me know how you felt. Hit that notification bell, and last but certainly not least, subscribe and join the queen, baby. Bye.